Korea may conduct a rocket test next month. Pyongyang says it's a peaceful satellite project, but many international observers fear a long-range missile test. This year's New York Fashion Week has featured a variety of attempts to combine Korean and Asiatic elements with global trends. We'll take you there. And a Webtoon exhibition has opened in Korea where visitors can enjoy and learn more about popular Korean comics on the web, gaining admiration worldwide. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Tuesday, September 15th. I'm Luke Clary. North Korea has hinted that it may conduct a rocket test on October 10th to mark the 70th anniversary of the establishment of the Workers' Party. While Pyongyang says it's a peaceful satellite project, many in the international community see the North Korean satellite launch as a long-range missile test.
North Korea has officially implied that it is determined to test-launch long-range missiles. In an interview with a Korean Central News Agency reporter, the head of North Korea's National Aerospace Development Administration claimed that aerospace development is a global trend, and North Korea's satellite launch, too, is a peaceful project following the regime's science and technology development plan aimed to build a stronger economy and improve people's lives. Then he added that peaceful aerospace development is a legitimate right of a sovereign nation approved by the international laws. He emphasized that the North is steadfastly determined to exercise that right no matter what others say. The country's chief space scientist stated that the world will stand to witness North Korean satellites soaring high up in the sky at the time and place decided by the party. Pyongyang has been hinting at the possibility of launching long-range missiles around the 70th anniversary of the establishment of the Workers' Party through the North Korean ambassador in China and the permanent representatives to the UN.
On Tuesday, South and North Korea will exchange lists of preliminary candidates for scheduled inter-Korean family reunions to verify the status of their families across the border. The South Korean list includes 50 family members of South Koreans held as prisoners of war or abducted by the North. Here's the story.
In preparation for the inter-Korean family reunions, which will be held starting on October 20th at Mount Kumgang, South and North Korea will exchange lists of candidates at Panmunjom on Tuesday to verify whether their relatives across the border are still alive. A list of 250 South Korean separated families will be delivered to the North through a liaison officer at Panmunjom. The list includes 200 families who have confirmed their intention to attend the reunions with their health condition in check, chosen from 500 preliminary candidates selected on September 9th through a computer lottery, as well as 50 families of prisoners of war or those abducted by North Korea. The North will likewise send a list of 200 candidates so that the status of their relatives in the South may be verified. The two Koreas will first confirm whether the candidates' families across the border are alive and then exchange the results on October 5th before exchanging the final lists 3 days later.
10월 8일에는 이산가족 최종 명단 100명씩을 상호간에 명단 교환을 하게 됩니다.
The Korean Red Cross announced that after receiving the North Korean list, it will begin locating their relatives in the South by searching through a computer network on separated families and with the cooperation of local governments.
The penalties for road rage incidents have grown tougher in recent years. Retaliatory drivers have been held accountable in civil court as well as in criminal court.
A passenger sedan suddenly stops in the middle of an expressway. Then soon, a series of collisions follow. This road rage incident occurred near the Ochang rest stop on Jungbu Expressway in August of 2013. Following a dispute over a lane change, the driver, surnamed Che, all of a sudden stopped his car in the middle of the road. The three vehicles behind Che stopped just in time to avoid a collision, but a 5-ton truck failed to brake promptly and crashed into the vehicles ahead of it. The truck driver was killed in the accident, and Che was sentenced to prison for 3 years and 6 months for driving recklessly to cause the fatal collision. Meanwhile, the case has gone to civil court as well. The truck driver's insurance company sued Che for compensation for the over $101,000 paid to the deceased driver's family and other drivers involved in the accident. In the first trial, Che's percentage of fault was set at 75% and that of the truck driver at 25%. The court determined that Che's road rage had caused the deadly pileup. However, in the second trial, the appeals court raised Che's fault to 90% and held him to heavier accountability. For failing to hold his anger in check, Che now has to pay more than $100,000 in damage compensation and serve time in prison.
How many slices of pizza do you eat at a time? Most probably eat between 3 or 4 slices. However, the amount of sodium and saturated fat contained in just 3 slices of pizza exceeds the entire daily recommended level. Here's more.
Pizza is a popular choice for an afternoon snack. But to stay healthy, it's best not to eat more than 2 slices at a time. The Korea Consumer Agency's analysis of 14 pizza brands shows that, on average, 2 slices of pizza account for 59% of the daily recommended intake of fat, 66% of sodium, and 89% of saturated fat. For children and adolescents in particular, 2 slices are enough to significantly exceed the daily recommended intake levels. The nutritional content varied by as much as a factor of 2 depending on the brand in question. Papa John's was the saltiest of the group, and 5-9 rice pizza had the highest content of saturated fat and cholesterol. Lotte Mart pizza was found to contain the most calories. In particular, Lotte Mart pizza marked the saturated fat content at 7 times less than the actual figure. Imsil and cheese pizza was also found to have marked the sodium content as 4 times less than the actual amount. The Korea Consumer Agency recommended that pizza companies provide the exact details of nutritional content on the top of pizza boxes so that consumers may easily understand.
Judges are considered figures of authority. Ordinary people might find them rather unapproachable. But today, we bring you the story of judges who have put aside their robes and are hard at practice for a dance recital with disadvantaged youth. Let's find out more about the collaborative event.
The second act has begun with powerful melodies. Precise movements are key to expressing passion, the dance routine's theme. But their hands and feet go their separate ways off the beat. These awkward dancers, hard at practice, are the judges and employees of the Suwon District Court. Teenagers in probation for breaking the law and children in welfare facilities practice the routine with the judges and court employees. It's already been 2.5 months since they started practicing. Over that time, they've forgotten their jobs, ages, or lots in life.
판사들과 죄 지은 사람들과 이렇게 하나가 될 수 있고 같은 사람이라는 알게 되었습니다.
This is a community dance, a process of empathy aimed at healing emotional wounds by organizing and practicing for a dance recital. These judges have taken off their robes of authority to become one with disadvantaged juveniles. Their dance performance was presented on stage to celebrate Korea's first courts day.
This year's New York Fashion Week has featured a variety of attempts to combine Korean and Asiatic elements with global trends. Let's take a look.
The contrast of black and white and the geometric patterns offer an impression of strength, but the soft silhouette is reminiscent of Oriental lines. Traditional accessories such as ornamental hairpins, tassels, and bands add a unique touch. The works are a combination of a Western theme, the internal conflict of Snow White, with Korean details.
다른 것 2개를 섞어서 듀얼리즘을 표현하는 브랜드거든요. 그래서 서양의 것과 동양의 것을 같이 합쳐서
Cherry blossoms in pink are encapsulated in traditional Korean silk. Layering with see-through materials and the division of surfaces represent the implementation of a Northeast Asian style. For her 10th participation in the New York Fashion Week, Yoona Yang has presented a collection of designs that employ Asian orientations, with Japanese themes and Korean materials. Modernized versions of the traditional Korean hanbok have been invited as special guests. It is the first step in an ambitious project to promote hanbok as a party outfit worldwide.
우리나라 한복도 바이어들한테 판매될 수 있고 젊은 층들이나 세계인들한테 입힐 수 있는 의상으로서 개발이 되었다는 걸 보여드리러
Various attempts are being made in the hub of the international fashion industry to combine Korean and Asian elements with global trends.
Webtoons are a promising part of Korean culture, gaining popularity worldwide. An exhibition of Webtoons has opened in Korea, where visitors can enjoy and learn more about popular Webtoons.
The webtoon, Incomplete Life, has sold 2.2 million copies, becoming the best-selling printed webtoon in Korea.
사무 현장의 전투화를 팔겠습니다.
Incomplete Life was even made into a TV show, ushering in the era of webcomics. The Korean webtoon market has been doubling in size annually. Now, Korean webtoons are also well recognized overseas, emerging as a promising item of the Korean culture wave known as Hallyu.
한류에 익숙해져 있던 많은 사람들이 한국의 웹툰에 대해서 거부감 없이 받을 가능성이 높기 때문에 저희가 제2의, 제3의 또 다른 한류의 콘텐츠가 될 거라고 웹툰을 생각하고 있는 겁니다.
An exhibition of webtoons held at the National Library of Korea provides all kinds of information about this creative genre. Visitors can try their hand at drawing comic sketches at the exhibition space made to feel like home and take photos of their faces to become the main characters of famous webtoons. The exhibition also has a section that offers a unique experience of enjoying various webtoons through a bathroom mirror. This exhibition puts on display not only popular webtoons, but also records set by webtoons and their behind-the-scenes stories.
The idol group EXO will hold a concert at the Sky Dome in Seoul next month, becoming the first music group in Korea to perform in a dome. This and more coming up.
Idol group EXO will hold a concert on October 10th entitled EXO Love Concert in Dome at the Sky Dome in Kucheok, Seoul. It will be the first concert to be held at the newly built Dome venue. EXO's popularity has been soaring since the release of its second album, Exodus, and the repackaged album, Love Me Right, each of which has sold over 1 million copies. Singer Lee Seung-hwan will hold a charity concert next month at the waterside stage of the Olympic Park in Seoul to raise funds for children suffering from leukemia. Lee's charity concerts, which were launched in 2001, have become the longest-lasting of their kind in Korea. All proceeds are donated to the Korea Childhood Leukemia Foundation. So far, the singer has raised around $525,000 for afflicted children through his concerts. Jonghyun of idol group SHINee will release an album of his self-composed songs entitled Story Opus 1 on September 17th. The album contains re-edited versions of 9 tracks that Jonghyun wrote personally and released while acting as a radio DJ.
Now that autumn is finally here, many Koreans travel to mountains and grassy fields to enjoy outdoor activities or mow the grass around their ancestors' graves ahead of Chuseok. With an increase in the outdoor activities, the likelihood of bee stings or snake bites also rises. Here are some tips. Autumn has arrived seemingly overnight. With more people enjoying outdoor activities, incidence of bee stings increase as well. It's said that the bee population grows and they become more active around this time of the year. Wasps are more dangerous than honeybees. In recent years, the invasive species of Asian hornet has spread all over Korea, compelling people to exercise more caution when working outside. When stung by a bee or a wasp, the area around it swells up, accompanied by pain and itchiness. In serious cases, a person who is stung may feel out of breath and complains of chest pain.
벌이 주변에 있다는 것은 곧 벌집이 주변에 있다는 것을 의미하므로 과다한 액션을 취해서 벌을 더 자극시키지 말고 그 자리에서 자세를 낮게 한 상태에서 엎드려 있는 게 좋은 방법입니다.
Avoid wearing strong-scented perfume or makeup and vividly colored clothes. When stung, use a credit card to scrape off the stinger. Compressing the area with ice can reduce the pain and swelling, but when the swelling becomes more severe, place the wound higher than the heart and try to keep the person calm. People should be on alert about snakes as well as bees in the fall. It's crucial to administer quick first aid when bitten by a snake. First, move the person to a safe place and wash out the venom and impurities with clean water. The bitten area should be placed lower than the heart, and use a piece of clothing or a belt to apply a tourniquet above the wound. Don't try to suck out the venom or cut open the wound with a knife because of the risk of secondary infection.
야외 활동을 하실 때는 긴 바지나 긴 팔에 의복을 착용하시고요. 뱀이 출몰할 가능성이 많은 곳을 통행하실 때는 긴 막대기나 지팡이 같은 걸로 확인을 하시는 게 필요합니다. 만약에 산에 이제 오랫동안 머물러야 될 경우에는 뱀들이 싫어하는 그런 백방가루나 담배가루 같은 것을 주변에 뿌려주시는 게 필요합니다.
Autumn is a perfect time to enjoy the outdoors, but always be on guard for the risk of bee stings and snake bites.
And now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.